hi, it's the very next second for me, and it's still 11:20 on a Monday, and I'm going to make this nav sticky. So here are the approaches that you can take. Simplest approach, absolute. Now the nav sticky. New problem, the absolute nav, that you can see at opacity 25%, 50%, is now atop the thing underneath it. Immediate solution, div class with full height, the calculated height of the nav. So as you can see, if I make this BG black, this pushes the rest of this content down to where it would have been if the nav wasn't sticky. Problem again. Design says that they don't like the padding and they want the padding to be less. Now we've made a change here and we have to re-finagle this push down element. Or, alternative problem, if we're going to say that, well, the padding on mobile should be really tight, but on medium screens it should be PY8. Now we have to do the same thing here. Now we have to maintain that the padding on the blah, 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 blah. You see the problem. I mean, this isn't the worst thing in the world, honestly. And knowing how annoying it can be to fix this, I'm almost tempted to just stick with what we've got, but to at least show you that there are alternatives here. The alternative is, this is not absolute, this is overflow hidden, and this is all stuck in div class grow. Flex row, flex wrap. This doesn't get flex wrap, and overflow y scroll. Right? Oh, come on. Flex column then. Yeah. So then overflow y hidden. And I guess we do it on the index. App class equals overflow hidden. Right. So now what you see is this is positioned correctly. This is right. Absolute height, screen width, screen. There it is. Now what you see is this element by itself is going to take up the whole screen. See? This takes up however much it takes up. And because this is flex, we can say that the second and only other element at that same level here is going to grow to the remainder of the space. So this will take up the calculated remainder of the rest of the space. And you can see that the scroll bar has moved from being on the body where it was before to now just being on this element beneath it. And now we can do all sorts of fancy stuff. So now if this padding changes, it automatically recalculates how much more this can grow before it's an issue, right? The downside, the big downside to this is that scroll position isn't by default saved across refreshes in most browsers unless you're scrolling on the body. So I scroll down, I refresh the page, I'm at the same scroll position. Alternatively, if I undo all this nonsense and do this and scroll the body and hard refresh the page, I'm still scrolled at the body, right? It's also development hell because any change that I make in here will trigger an automatic Vite hot module reload, so it will automatically lose my scroll position. So that does suck. There are other downsides, I think. I'm trying to think. I guess that's it. It's just a nasty design environment. Especially with Vite. But I really hate the hacky solution of just having to recalculate all the time. Maybe it's worth it. This is for display purposes only, so I'm not going to be developing that long. And if this was a production environment, I did have to develop that long, I would come up with another solution. I mean, I would ideally not want to spend a whole lot of time developing new body components in the app itself. I would want to develop them in isolation. There's a couple of different sites that you can use and plugins you can use to develop components as like corkboard components, like plug and play components. So you can really just focus on, block 4. All right, they need a fancy animation on block 4. Like, how are we going to pull that off? And I mean, really, I don't want to do the whole page. I don't want to do the whole site. I want to show how I would do everything. But if, a new problem, if I want to show how I'll do a header. I want to show how I do a mobile-friendly thing that goes from hamburger to whatever. I want to show how I'll do intersect observers. If I scroll down, these pictures fade into view as they're observed. That's fancy. That's cool. I want to show how I would do that in a way where on mobile, it stacks individually, but the intersect observers still fire. So this text is observed. This text is observed, even though that text used to be in the same component before. So I want to show how I would do all this stuff, but I just want to show it once. If I can do, just this first little bit, the rest is just repeated nonsense, right? So I don't plan on designing this page, and I'm not going to have to live with it. This is just for demo purposes only. So I'll do the header right. I'll do the header as absolute and scrolling on the body. I mean, I think the PayPal homepage is a spa anyway, so you'd have to fix all sorts of things, fix scroll behavior and navigation and everything. So that would just be, one more thing to worry about. So let's work on the nav header. God, I really do talk a lot, don't I? Let's see. I'm 8 minutes in. All right, so header. Header is BG white, shadow gray. Inside this is div class flex max width 6XL, maybe 7XL. Where padding X is 8. Items are center and justified between. The two items in this flex div are the div that contains logo personal business developer help and the div that contains login and sign up. Those are the two items. Actually, instead of doing justify between, we're going to do those things individually and a empty div class grow for the spacer. So personal business developer help, personal business developer help button, log in, sign up, capitals, log in, sign up. I don't want to have to pull a logo, so I'm just going to do div class bg black, bg blue 500, width 8, height 8. There we go. So we've got the spacing. Now, given this is a Figma, expand to band. Maybe not so much that I have to, nah, it's fine. If this was a Figma, I would assume that the whole business div, or the whole personal div, was a hover hotspot to expand the dropdown. Currently, that is not the case. Border, you can see it's the whole thing. Ah, yes, because these are the ones that have the paddings. I'm wondering if this text should have the padding. Yeah, why not? Why not? Okay, well then, they should also have some horizontal padding. I guess that looks good. Okay, well, all of these elements should have padding. Oh, God. Which means that gap x4, I don't think that's what I want, and space x4 isn't going to be any better. Yeah. Oh, Tailwind 3 has a really cool thing. It's this. All gets padding 4. So this is actually just regular CSX selector, right? So like style thing, self, immediate, next child, styles go here, right? You know what I mean? Tailwind, you can just declare that in line, and it reads it, and it compiles a style just for that. So that's great. Now I don't have to repeat myself. This isn't getting padding. Did I lose my build? Why is this not getting padding? Padding 8. Why is this not getting padding? Help. This isn't getting padding. This is the immediate next thing. I didn't specify like a div. Yeah, padding. This is getting padding. Oh, because this div, if it contained a div that had class at, and then that, then the containment div would be getting the padding, and this would be the fixed height that I specified. I forgot how divs work. Cool, so far so good. Am I at time? Oh, I'm 14 minutes. All right, see you in a sec.